Welcome, yogi, to this 10-minute yoga practice focused on the shoulders and upper back. You don't need any props today for this practice. However, if you do have some blocks close by, they may help you in one of the poses. I will give you an option of what to do if you don't have one. So we'll begin in child's pose, please. Facing the front of your mat. If possible today, bring your knees close together. This brings it into a little bit more of a back release as we take child's pose. And begin by stretching your chest out over your thighs. And rest your hands by your feet with your palms facing upwards and your forehead on the floor. Just relax your shoulders for a start. If your forehead doesn't touch the floor, you could either use the block I mentioned before or a blanket. Just invite the shoulders to melt as you take 3 deep breaths. In through the nose and slowly out. Relax your hands, deep breath in. Melt your shoulders, exhale. One more time, please. And switch your arm position so they're stretched out ahead of you. And start to creep your fingertips as far away as you can. Just bit by bit, they crawl away from you, starting to stretch through the shoulders here. And each inhale, you can reach your torso, your fingers a little further away. And the exhale, anchor your sit bones towards your heels. We'll start to come up, walk your hands back in towards you and come up to a kneeling posture. So this is another posture where your block could be useful. If sitting on your heels doesn't feel good to you, you can grab your block and place it between your feet. You could even put 2 blocks on top of one another to create that same effect, to lessen the degree of stretch through the quads and knees. Alternatively, if this just doesn't work for you, you could sit cross-legged on the floor and do these same poses just the same. Okay, so we'll sit up tall for a moment. And we'll take the arms into a cactus shape. So spread out your fingers, bend your elbows to 90 degrees, and start to pull them back. We'll take 3 deep breaths here. Feel like your chest is lifting up. Just floating the sternum up towards the ceiling. Deep breath in. Squeeze your shoulder blades together as you exhale. And one more of those. Deep breath in. And squeeze, exhale. We'll bring the hands together in front of you, clasp them, and press them forwards now. So the palms turn away, chin towards your chest, round your upper back, and 3 deep breaths here. Just one more breath, yogis. Deep breath in, into that middle upper back, and out. And then we'll take your hands up overhead. So palms still facing away from you. Lift them up high, elevate your shoulder blades, and start to pull the hands back to any degree. Little fingers towards the space behind you. 3 deep breaths here also. Keep that rising energy. You got this. 2 more deep breaths. And carefully coming out of that ribs, pull back in. Hands drop to behind the head. Press your head back into your hands. And resist the hands back into your head. Still steady breaths. This will help to strengthen the trapezius, the upper back, and into the neck. And we'll release and clasp the hands at your low back now, squeezing your palms together and focusing on the rolling open of your upper arms. So don't worry if your hands can get away from you. Focus on external rotation of the upper arms. Now, if that does externally rotate, then you can take your hands away a little bit. But if it doesn't quite rotate outwards, focus on that more than you focus on lifting your hands away. Just another couple of breaths, opening into the chest. Keep your palms trying to come together like magnets. Lovely, yogi. Release. Come forwards. Off of your block, if you were sat cross-legged on the floor, you can also come up to your knees. Just give your legs a little stretch for a moment. That's it. Come into tabletop, hands underneath your shoulders and hips over your knees. And stretch your right hand up to the ceiling. Rotate and look up towards it now. Pause there. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, thread the needle. So bring your right hand through between left hand and left knee. Rest your whole arm down. Rest the side of your head down. Now come up onto your left fingertips. So your palm is up off the floor and your elbow is high up over the wrist. Press lightly into that to rotate your back. Keep your hips hugging a little bit to the right. Lovely, yogi. Place the left hand flat again. Stretch your right one back up to the ceiling. All the way up. And release your right hand back to the mat. Left hand floats high up to the ceiling. Look up towards it. Take another deep breath while you're here, expanding, and thread the needle on this side. Left hand floats through between right hand and right knee. Rest your whole arm down. Rest your head down and relax your left hand. Then remember to tent up onto your right fingertips with your elbow over the wrist and press to rotate. Hug your hips a little bit to the left if that doesn't feel too intense. Really focus on this upper back rotation. That's it, yogis. Press your right palm flat onto the mat again. Circle your left hand up to the ceiling. Big breath in to expand and open. And release that down. Let's lower down to lying on our fronts. All the way down to the floor. We'll go again for the shoulders. So the left hand stretches off the left side of your mat. Your right hand is directly under your right shoulder. Point your right foot up to the ceiling, bend your right knee, and roll the left shoulder in towards the mat. Now roll onto your left side and rest your head on the floor. Use your right foot behind your left leg as a little kickstand. If this is really intense for you, you could move your left hand down a few degrees, which will make it a little bit more accessible, a bit more comfortable. And rotate back to center. Square up and send your right arm off the right side. Point your left toes directly up to the ceiling. Left hand's under your shoulder to help you roll onto your right side of your body. Rest your head. Open up that left knee. And breathe. That's it. Unravel yourself back to center. Press your way up to a table. I'll stretch your arms out ahead of you and out towards the corners of your mat. Hips are either directly over the knees or a little bit in front of. And soften your torso down towards the floor on an exhale. You can rest your forehead or chin, maybe your chest on the floor. As you inhale, just lift up the navel and scoop the tailbone down a little bit, chin towards your chest some. Then reverse that again, tailbone up, chest down, looking a little forward, stretch into the upper back. Just one more time, lifting up and out of that on an inhale. And exhale, melt away back into Anahata Asana, melt in heart pose or puppy pose. Hold this pose for a deep breath in and out. And we'll start to lift up again, navel up, tailbone tucks, chin to chest, and we'll creep it back into child's pose. Back to where we started. You can place your hands in front of you or once again by your feet is really nice after that puppy pose. Just one more deep breath here, all the way into the low back, into the middle back, into your shoulders, and out. And you can sit your way up on your next inhale, yogis. You can take a cross-legged seat or kneel once again like we did before. Rest your hands together in front of you. If you have time to take Shavasana, perhaps switch now to lying down and rest. Enjoy another short video, or perhaps take some time in meditation. Thank you for joining me. Deep breath in and out. Thank you, yogis. Namaste.